Hello and welcome to Reltio's 2022.1 release overview. My name is Terry Block, Director of Product Operations here at Reltio, and I'm joined today by our two Senior Directors of Product Management, Ayan Basu and Shashant Rai. We also have all of our product team with us today, ready to answer any questions that you might have throughout today's session. Before we kick off, I want to let you know that this webinar is being recorded and will be available after the session. All attendees are in listen-only mode, but we do want to hear your questions, so please type any of the questions you have in the Q&A using the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom panel. As mentioned, our product managers are available to answer those questions as we go through the overview. In accordance with Safe Harbor, please know that this presentation is intended for informational purposes only and is not a commitment to deliver any functionality and should not be incorporated in a contract or purchasing decisions. Here at Reltio, we subscribe to disruption-free releases. We have 3 major releases a year in January, May, and October, as well as weekly releases to deploy urgent updates and bug fixes. The 2022.1 is our first major release of this year. This release will be available in preview starting tomorrow, January 26th, and generally available on February 16th. And now I'd like to hand it over to Ayan, who's going to kick us off with the 2022.1 release overview.
All right, thank you, Terry. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining today's session. Before we dive into the 22.1 release details, I'd just love to run you through our product, what it does, and what our core capabilities are. So if you think about today's world, I'm sure all of you face this today. Data is siloed, it's everywhere. There's huge application proliferation and data sprawl. So ultimately what we do is allow you to get all of that data, create a single source of truth, be able to manage that data sprawl, and then ultimately help you drive operational excellence, provide superior customer service, reduce risk and fraud, and simplify compliance. And ultimately, Reltio is helping you accelerate the value of your data. So here we have our Reltio Connected Data Platform. And what I'm going to do is walk you through just the foundational layers of the platform and how we provide value and how we get to that single source of truth for you. So at the bottom, you're noticing we are a true cloud-native SaaS platform. We're available on AWS, GCP, and Azure is coming soon, which we'll actually talk about later in the presentation. But we are a highly performant, highly available platform, truly cloud-native. And then on the next layer, what I want to stress here is we do treat security as a first-class citizen, and we are compliant with many of our regulatory policies like HIPAA, SOC, SOC 1, SOC 2, GDPR, and any new certifications that are required, we are fully compliant against those. And then on top of that, our core MDM product is multi-domain in nature. So we do support a variety of data models from person, organization, product, and so on. And then with those data models, our core Entity 360 capabilities come into play. So with entity resolution, we match and merge all the data records into a single source of truth. And we do that through our dynamic survivorship capability. Then with progressive stitching, that just means we can add more attributes, more data, enrich your data within the system. And then we're able to manage all of that data through our core components like data governance and data quality. And then also through the connected nature of the data, we can provide you views into relationships and show you the true connected nature of your data. And then lastly, on the consumption layer, there's a variety of ways to consume the data through Reltio. We do have a comprehensive set of APIs that you can integrate to, or you can use our low-code, no-code Reltio Integration Hub platform to provide you custom integrations to applications. We do have a few out-of-the-box connectors you can leverage as well as connectors into common data science analytics platforms. And then lastly, we have a modern user interface that you can consume and interact with your Reltio data. So jumping into the 22.1 release highlights, So if you keep that image in mind of the different layers, starting from the top with real-time integration, we're excited to introduce our BVD enrichment connector. And this is where we're getting data from BVD, just like Dun & Bradstreet, and we're helping you enrich your data within Reltio. So you're now able to do that using BVD as a data source, Bureau van Dijk. Next one is we do have quite a few user enhancements, user experience enhancements around a few of our core components and products, starting with data loader, event streaming, and then also we're reimagining and have a completely redesigned dashboard with self-serving UI modeling capability. We've redesigned profile views, relationship views, and this is really an effort for us to kind of show you our focus on providing you a very intuitive, modern experience and making our product as easy to use as possible. So that alongside our data enrichment capabilities showcases our ability to be adaptable, flexible, agile in nature, and give you a variety of different ways to enrich your data and get even more value out of your data. With Entity 360 capabilities, we're excited to announce our all new interactive data quality experience that's available for early access, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And this is really providing you actionable insights on the quality of your data and helping you make sure that your data is up to the highest quality standards. The next up, we have proactive monitoring match rules, which is really our way to make sure you're not impacted by any performance disruptions and making sure your matching is fully optimized and you're getting the performance out of the system that you expect. On the security and compliance side, we do have self-service capability with SSO. So now we've enabled our OIDC connection with SSO if that's a framework that you use, in addition to SAML. So that now that's available. And then with the inbox, we've also made a variety of user and experience enhancements. And this is designed to really help improve the productivity of your data stewards. And again, it's a much more intuitive user experience that we've created. And then lastly, we have a couple of monitoring dashboards that we're introducing. One around API performance. So a lot of insights that you can gain there through your APIs, look at latency, usage statistics, performance, and get that level of insight into how your platform's performing. And then lastly, we've made a number of updates to our status.reltio.com page to show additional statistics and monitoring around various core services and capabilities of the Reltio connected data platform. So that's a quick overview of the release. So I'll dive now into our real-time integration and Entity 360 capability updates, starting with our data enrichment with BVD. So Bureau van Dijk is a Moody analytics company, and you can think of them similar to Dun & Bradstreet, where they're a data provider, and you can get all kinds of data from them, from key financials, business information, contact data, and you can get all of that data within your system through this integration. And this integration is actually built on our newly rolled out Reltio Integration Hub platform. So through that, you can get a lot of monitoring capabilities, a lot of self-service capabilities with the connector itself. You can troubleshoot, you can use Reltio Integration Hub to create some custom recipes, to change the mappings. And so there's a lot of flexibility built into this integration. And you can get the data either on demand or through a batch scheduled job. So you have that optionality with this integration. And then you can also build corporate hierarchies, family trees on the data, much like you can do with the Dun & Bradstreet connector. So if you are interested in using Bureau van Dijk as a data provider, if you already have it, then you can easily use this connector to enrich your data and use it for a variety of different use cases, whether it's customer experience, segmentation, targeting, sales territory planning, what have you. So all of that enriched data will now be at your disposal through the BVD connector. Next slide. So here we have, in keeping with the theme of data enrichment, additional fields that we've added to our Reltio address verification product. So we did add time zone coverage now. It's worldwide coverage on time zones, includes UTC, daylight savings time. And so with this additional data field, you can solve for different use cases as you look at your data within the system. If there's something specific and unique you want to do with time zones across the world with this time zone coverage, so that capability is now available to you as part of this enhancement. Now with the interactive data quality, this is an all new feature that we're making available. So we're really excited to provide this to you as early access. If you are interested, definitely reach out. But this is really an intention to help you monitor the quality of your data and help you understand, how good is your data, how accurate it is it trustworthy, are there gaps that you need to fill? So it's really about the completeness of your data and monitoring and taking action. So that's the key part, is as you see any areas of your data that you want to enhance, you can take action on it right away. So there are a bunch of different new KPIs that we've made available as part of interactive data quality. One is fill rate. So you can see how much of your data fields are actually filled with data, if it's last name, emails, address, and you can see what part of it's not filled. And if it's not filled, you can actually click on it, drill down into those individual records and fill in the data. So you can actually take action on any part of it where the quality is not quite up to your standards. And in addition to data quality and fill rate, there's uniqueness analysis. So you can see how many times a specific value is appearing, how much of it's unique, how much of it's duplicates, whether it's names, emails, addresses, city, and so on. And same thing with frequency. So you can see how often a specific value occurs in your data set. And then again, you can take action, you can drill down, you can look into the details. So all of that capability now exists with this interactive data quality product. And then you can also do pattern analysis and crosswalk analysis and see the data that's coming in from different sources and have that level of insight. And then again, be able to address any areas of low quality of the data that you want to address right away. So you really have that end-to-end comprehensive view of data quality, of how the data is within your Reltio system, and then ultimately be able to quickly work with your data and get to that source of truth, get to that insight-ready data, and make sure that the data in your system is at the highest quality possible. So excited to offer this to you as part of our early access. So definitely reach out if you want to take a deeper dive into it. Next slide. So here we have a number of user experience enhancements around our data loader product. So data loader is simply just being able to load data files into Reltio. And so we have our user interface here that we've made even more intuitive than before. So it's a much more seamless experience. So we have improved navigation quite a bit. We've added some screen toggle capabilities. And also we've had guided steps. So you know exactly what part of the flow that you're in. So you don't have to guess and kind of find out where you are. And if you want to click the back button and go back and redo certain steps, you can certainly do so with this updated user experience enhancement. And we've also moved the entity type and job name to the first step. And we've made the first row of the header default. So there's less kind of individual actions that you have to do, and more of it's baked into the feature as default. And so it's more seamless and improves your productivity as you go through the steps within the data loader process itself. And then with the mapping buttons, we've made them more clearly articulated so you know exactly what to click within the mapping buttons, and there's clear demarcation along those lines, and you know exactly what to do step by step. And most importantly, we've made the experience more consistent with other products like external match, for example. So now you have consistency across products with that experience. And then lastly, with the summary view, after you finish the entire job, you know how the job is performed, how many records failed, how many succeeded, and you get all of that job detailed information all on the same page. So you don't have to click in for further details or go to another page to get that information. All of that is available right in one place. So again, a number of enhancements really designed to help you improve productivity and create that intuitive experience with this product itself. Next up with event streaming, we've made a couple of enhancements on the self-service configuration side. So as you're distributing data to other downstream systems, there's more capability for you to have self-service updates. So one example here is you can use the snapshot feature and select which are the actual fields and attributes that you want to include as part of your distribution. So instead of sending the whole event payload, you can select which are the fields that you're interested in, whether it's address field, street, city, state. You can select individual items, only send those, and you can do this yourself. So you're less reliant on Reltio support and other services to help you. And then lastly, there's self-service multiple destination support for single queues. So if you want to send different entity types, different object types to different downstream destinations, you can do that now with the self-service update that we have here. And again, this is designed to make it more intuitive, make it help you achieve more productivity with this specific update here. Next slide. So here we have proactive monitoring of match rules. So this is again designed to make sure that nothing with match is causing performance degradation or potential disruption in the performance of your matching. So we're continuously monitoring these match rules, the matching that's taking place, and automatically detecting potential problem areas and surfacing them up. So in this case, if there's issues with specific match rules, we highlight those, and then we temporarily disable those to make sure that they're not negatively impacting your matching. And this is done proactively, and the bypass feature is enabled automatically. But then what happens is you know what actually went wrong. We provide recommendations on how you can address it, so you can quickly enable those match rules back. So with this flagging mechanism, you know exactly what's going on in the system, which match rules are potentially creating some challenges, and then you can address those and re-enable those match rules and get your match performance back to where it needs to be, and ensure that there's no match rules that are causing any unintended disruption or potential performance degradation. So this is our way of really keeping a focus on performance optimization, match optimization, and helping you make sure that your matching is fully optimized and you're getting the performance out of the system that you expect. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Sushant to walk you through some really great enhancements we've made on user experience. Sushant?
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, let's jump into to some of the more exciting user experience enhancements that we have released. As you know, at Reltio, our focus has always been to provide our customers consumer-grade UX with insight-ready data that is easier to consume, that is very intuitive, right? So in the same direction, we are really excited to release a number of key enhancements to Reltio user experience. For example, we have a completely reimagined and redesigned personalizable dashboard with rich visualizations, which will empower end users to personalize their dashboards to see and visualize the data that is important to them. This dashboard now can be completely configured by administrators. No need to be stuck with JSON configurations or reaching out to Reltio support to create a chart or make a few modifications to your dashboard. It's complete self-service. What you see, what you get, kind of a modeler as part of the UI modeler application. The profile UI again has been completely revamped for a full 360-degree view, and we have introduced new side panels to separate data stewardship and profile information. But this will provide easy to use, very intuitive UI to our end users, where they can have the most relevant information to them in a way that they want to consume. In the same direction, we have again redesigned relationships UI completely to include a contents table, dedicated details of every relationship, and history view, and similar to sources. And a bunch of enhancements on Reltio inbox for data stewards to bulk process the ECRs and bring in more efficiency and productivity onto their day-to-day work. So I think enough with the slides. Let's take a break and see a demo of all the features that I'm talking about here. All right, so what we see here, I'm going to talk about all these features that I just described, basically the new dashboard, UI modeler for dashboard, the new profile UI, and the new relationship perspective on profile as well. So if you know, within our Reltio console, we have an application called UI modeler. So far, UI modeler was, we're using UI modeler, customers were able to configure the profile UI. We have enhanced it to completely configure the dashboard, as well as create new charts, edit existing charts, and publish changes to end users or business users with one click. So let's see it in action. So using the dashboard modeler, the administrators can now create new charts, change the layout of the entire dashboard, and publish changes to all users, as we just said. So the ability to create charts is we have made it very, very simple and as intuitive as possible. It's a similar interface that you have seen with profile. On the left side, all the facets or charts are being shown. And on the right side, you can see the libraries coming up. On the top, you have predefined charts, which you already see on your current dashboard, which are profile stats view, saved search, and notification inbox. These are the charts that are built from Reltio sites and shipped. So these are always available. But apart from that, you have seen a number of visualization or different chart types that you can pick from once you try to create a new chart. So let's take an example. I want to build a bar chart. As soon as you add it to the dashboard layout, you can start setting up the properties, right? So for example, I want to create, see all the organization salesperson distribution for corporations, right? So that's my use case. I can simply start filling the properties. What's the title? So fill in the label in the title attribute. What is this going to be based on? What data is going to be based on? So there's a list of all the entity types. I choose organization and which attribute I need to filter it on. So sales percentage. So all the list of entity types and attributes are readily available, but this is still going to show me a lot of data. So I can add more than, add filters in here. I only want looking at corporations, as I said earlier. So I'm going to put a filter on status code, and simply now my chart is completely, will bring the right data. I can choose styling here. I can choose roles here. Which roles of particular users this chart should be visible to. I can choose, my sorting, ascending, descending, and things like that, right? Once I've added this chart to the dashboard, there are other efficiencies that I can bring for my business users. What I can do, I can reshuffle the charts on the UI. So basically, most important charts that are there, which I want my business users or data stewards to see without scrolling in their dashboards, I can bring them onto the top. I can also resize the charts. So for example, if profile stats is one of the key charts that data stewards or business users look at a daily basis, I can just increase the width by a single drag and drop and assign the width there itself. With that, I can just simply dedicate, as I said, dedicate more real estate. With one click, I can just publish this entire chart to my end users. So this is a functionality that was there with UI modeler, and we are extending into dashboards. So I publish this data, and as you can see, from a business user or data steward perspective, the changes are reflected immediately, and the users can start consuming it. The team members can then see the updated UI with newly created charts and layout in their dashboard page. Now, in the hub, as you can see, right, the same layout is purpose. Now, when it comes to business user personas, right, there could be two types of personas. Either it could be data stewards or it could be business users, right? And both might have a set of requirements. They're focused on operational reporting, could be focused on insights coming out of data to make business decisions. So everyone has different needs, and they can create their own version of this dashboard. And their versions will be saved as their preference, and which they will, once they log in again next time, it will be saved. So they don't have to do it over and over again. So let's take a simple persona, right? And a data steward. Now, data steward might be more focused on workflow tasks, the notifications that she's getting. So she can simply drag and drop a notification box on the top and make it more relevant because it's much more relevant, and they can resize the facets or charts here wherever they want it to be, and completely make it personalizable to them. Charts which are not relevant to them can be removed. Charts which need more real estate can be expanded or moved up and down. If they have removed a chart and they want to bring it back, that can be done. They can pick the charts exposed to them by their admins and decide which charts do they want or they don't want. So any particular chart, if it's already shown on the dashboard, they can hover up and click on remove, or they can, a chart which is not shown, they can simply add it and it will show up on the dashboard. And again, the same actions can be taken to position it on the dashboard. The next part, I want to switch from dashboard to profile, right? Similar to dashboard, our focus here has been business user or data steward productivity, right? So we want them to be able to experience data and get insights in a way that is very relevant to them and in a matter they want to see the UI. So completely flexible layout can make complete use of the space here. So instead of having big wide spaces, they can move the facets away for a particular facet. If they want more real estate, they can expand it. If they need more vertical real estate, they can just have more, for a long hierarchy view, they can expand it vertically. For a wider view, they can expand, users can do that. So every user can have their own layout, and there's no explicit saving needed. You change it, it is saved as your preference. Next time you come back, next time I come back as a user, the preferences remain as is. So on the top profile band, as you can see, this has been made dynamic. Depending on how it is configured and how much data is there, it will adjust and give you more real estate at the bottom. So if the data attributes are not filled, it's not that the profile band will be there taking all the space, and will be, there will be a lot of white spaces. It will be dynamic and give you very optimized, visual experience. And finally, another thing that we did is we have separated the profile information and data stewardship experience. Data stewardship meaning, your DCR workflow, potential matches, or collaboration. They have been moved out and moved to a right side panel where it has, it can be easily accessed, and what is needed can be acted upon. And when the work is done, can be simply collapsed, and the users can focus on their profile view as well. So as you can see, a lot of enhancements on profile. The third UI that I spoke earlier about that we have done enhancements to is, again, completely redesigned relationships. Imagine a profile with over 200 relationships. Having the ability to better slice and dice that data is critical to be able to find that information that you need. So with this improvement, we have added filters. This is a whole condensed table view with filters on columns. So if I'm looking for a particular relationship type only, for example, affiliated with, I can simply filter on that, and it will show me those relationship types only. There is sorting available on columns, so I can sort them ascending or descending, depending on my need. Many times we got feedback that for certain users, certain columns make sense, and for certain users, they want to have their own personal set of, how this table should look like. So we have added that personalization that users can simply select what columns do they want. So if they don't want start date and date, or they want directional label, they can simply enable it and it will start showing up. And as with other user preferences, this will be saved and shown the next time the users come back onto the UI. So we understand now with this relationship UI, we created a dedicated space for relationship detail. If you remember in the current UI, it cascades into the same UI, but now you have much more space, and it is much more easier to consume information on this UI, where you can look at all the relationship attributes, the directional, the start date, end dates. You can make the changes or add attributes here. There's legend information on the right side with all the crosswalk information that can be modified on the relationships right from here. So very easy to work with relationships with all these changes. So see, these were some of the key highlights that we are releasing into 22.1 release. I wanted to demo right now. As you just saw, we focused, on the following major themes: personalizations, effortless experience, and optimization of self-service capabilities. And all these features are available, generally available, and are going to be on all customer tenants. And customers can just use user preferences to enable them and start playing with them. Your current UIs are going to be the current default UI. They continue to be, but we would would highly encourage you to try these UIs and make a switch to them and provide us feedback. Quick recap on the new dashboard UI. So as you say, right, a redesigned dashboard for better analysis of profile data with rich visualizations and a complete end user personalization, resulting in increased ease of use and delivering faster time to insight. Complete self-service dashboard configuration for not only deciding and changing the layout of the dashboard, but also creating new charts or modifying existing charts without having need to reach out to technology teams or Reltio support, thereby delivering faster time to value and high agility to meet business requirements. A new profile user interface that I showed you to give you a condensed view of all information for a relationship. For all the relationships, no matter how the count is, a personalized table to view the columns relevant to you with the filters that you need, and a detailed profile, a detailed relationships view with easy handling of attributes for all the users to enjoy a more usable and intuitive user experience. In addition to that, we have done a lot of investments on inbox, right? User experience. Inbox is one of most highly used user interfaces within Reltio, where data stewards resolve or work on DCRs a day in, day out, and we have invested in features that would increase their efficiency as well as productivity with, at the time dealing with hundreds of DCRs or thousands of DCRs in a day. So what's the background here, right? The efficiency of data stewardship process is an important focus area for us. And these features that I'm going to talk about, right, which will help productivity of the data stewards. First one being the inbox will now support autocomplete feature on the filter value. So as soon as you start typing, it will help you out. This filter values will be dependent on the selected filter type, right? So this should help your team take full advantage of the dynamic filter duo, which is filter type and filter value in their day-to-day operations. We're also announcing the support of multiple ID search with DCR ID. So far, you could only pick one DCR ID at a time, and we got requests and feedback from our customers that data stewards, can operate in bulk, have copy a bunch of DCR IDs and bring it here. So now you can have multiple DCR IDs in the same attribute and search on them at the same time. We also have improved the level of detail that is being displayed for completed tasks. So your users will be able to see what action was taken on a completed task along with the timestamps without drilling into additional information panel, right? So quickly get more information without spending too much time or doing too many clicks. With the 22.1 GA, we are also configuring time to live for completed tasks on inbox. So as you know, when the tasks are completed, they can live within Reltio for a very long time. Completed tasks can be, are with us in really, really high volume, which affect our, performance of the whole workflow engine and inbox itself. So the time to live for completed tasks will be set to 1 year, which essentially means once you set, a decision is taken on a DCR, you have approved or rejected it, it will be set in that status and it will be kept within Reltio inbox or shown within Reltio inbox for next 1 year. And after that, it will be archived. So this is intended to improve the performance of search and filtering of completed tasks based on various feedback that we have received from you. This duration is configurable. We are defaulting it to 1 year, but if you want this configuration to be less than 1 year or more than 1 year, please reach out to us and then we can make those configurations for you. So that was about inbox user experience, all these enhancements to make, to improve data steward productivity. Now let's talk about some security and platform improvements. Right, so we have created a self-service capability for OpenID Connect or OIDC protocol for single sign-on. So what is OpenID Connect or OIDC? It's a lightweight REST-based identity layer on top of OAuth 2. And it's a very popular single sign-on framework. Now, we have been supporting OIDC for quite a while, right? It's not a new feature that we support. There are two types of protocols here, one is SAML and there's OIDC, and we support both of them. But what we have done with 22.1, we have created a self-service capability for configuring your OpenID Connect or OIDC setup SSO within Reltio. So administrators or configurators can go to Reltio console. There is in the SSO configuration app. Now, in addition to SAML, you can directly configure OIDC single sign-on as well. So again, no need for support tickets. You can easily manage your own configuration, your own settings, and this will provide you great self-service flexibility. A key step of providing full transparency to customers and letting them know what's happening with the Reltio deployments, their tenants. We are releasing a self-service dashboard for performance monitoring in early access. So please let us know if you would like to participate in this early access. This is a new dashboard in Reltio console that will provide visibility into live and historical statistics of API performance, right? So you will get to know what had been the usage and what are the error rates of APIs, user activity per API, and many more dimensions of visualization of these charts, right? There is summaries available as well as drill downs available at API level. And we do this both at a real time as well as I would say on a historical basis, right? So you can go in the past and see what happened in a particular period of time where you might have seen some performance degradation or something like that. So a great first step of providing information upfront to our customers and for you to gain insight on how your Reltio instance is performing at a given point. As I mentioned earlier, this is the first high-level dashboard that we're releasing with 22.1, but it's going to be in early access. If you would like access to it and would like to try it out and give us feedback, please reach out to us. And then we will set it up in your tenants. And we will constantly are going to improve and add more statistics and more views, as you can see on the screenshot in the coming sprints and releases. This is something we released, but this is the first time we're going to announce this, that we have launched a status page for Reltio to let our customers know that at any point of time, what is the availability of Reltio, right? So you can simply go to status.reltio.com at any point of time. It's a separate web page, apart from Reltio app that you use on a daily basis. And you can go and see the availability of Reltio service in different regions, in different data centers and different providers. So Reltio will now show all the services like API, search, export, core, queues, and data load. How are these services performing? What is their uptime? We are giving you more deeper and granular monitoring for various services. And we are providing these insights for us to determine, right, if there's any, proactively determine if there's any service degradation that is happening and reaching out to you. But this is a self-service that you can use at any point of time, simply going to status.reltio.com and checking how our Reltio service is running, what is the availability and the performance. Right, and again, very exciting announcement that we might have heard from us when we did it earlier this month. We are proud to announce Reltio on Microsoft Azure. We are announcing an early access for Reltio Connected Data Platform on Microsoft Azure, starting with Q2 of 2022. If you are interested in knowing more about how and when is the access coming and how the entire thing is going to work, please go to reltio.com/Azure and sign up for this early access, and we'll reach out to you and get that conversation started. There will be whole sort of benefits. As you know, we are already available on AWS and GCP, and in order to provide our customers choice for their platform, cloud platform of choice, we are going to provide Azure as well for customers to pick and based on their enterprise strategy, which provider they want to go with. All right, so that was those are the key features and enhancement that we wanted to show you or share with you from product management team and engineering team here at Reltio. Terry, back to you.
Thank you, Shashank. Great stuff. I'm really excited about this release. Also want to let you know, though, in addition to our release and the webinars that you can get from that, we do have a community that has a number of different webinars on different topics. So we encourage you to all go to our community site, which is community.reltio.com, and take a look at some of the exciting webinars that are there and sign up.
So coming back, right, a quick.
And that is a wrap for the 22.1 release. Thank you so much for joining us. We have been answering the questions and we have recorded this session. We'll be sending this out following the session so you can see it. Again, thank you so much for your attendance and have a lovely rest of your day.